morning, your first day in heaven, as you stroll down the golden avenue. There are mansions left and right, and you're thrilled at every sight, and the angels all are smiling, saying, how do you do? Oh, it's a great, great morning, your first day in heaven, when you realize your worrying days are through. You were glad you were not idle, took time to read the Bible. It's a great morning for you.
I had a dream, and I confess I hated to awake. I dreamt I was an angel at the white pearly gates.
St. Peter said, well, hello there, how have you been?
I've got your mansion ready, so come on in.
And then he rang for an angel to act as a guide.
He spread his wings a time or two and learned how to fly.
Oh, it's a great, great morning, your first day in heaven, as you stroll down the golden avenue. There are mansions left and right, and you're thrilled at every sight, and the angels all are smiling, saying, how do you do? Oh, it's a great, great morning, your first day in heaven, when you realize your worrying days are through. You were glad you were not idle, took time to read the Bible. It's a great morning for you.
Hey, Ralph.
Yeah?
Are you sure we're in heaven?
Oh, these lovely beings are in unity heaven.
Oh, you mean heaven on earth?
Yeah. Oh, it's a great, great morning, your first day at Unity, as you stroll down the aisle to your chairs. There are ushers left and right, and you're thrilled at every sight, and the people all are smiling, saying,
aloha, hey there.
Oh, it's a great, great morning, your first day at Unity, as you realize your worrying days are through. You were glad you were not idle, and now there's Reverend Lytle. It's a great morning, a great morning. What a happy day at Unity. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hey, como mai. Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii. We're so glad you decided to join us this morning. Please stand as you are able, and let's all be a friend of God. I am glad that you are mindful of me, that you hear me when I call. It is true that you are thinking of me, and you love me. It's amazing. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. You call me friend. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. You call me friend. I am glad that you are mindful of me, that you hear me when I call. It is true that you are thinking of me, and you love me. It's amazing. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. You call me friend. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. You call me friend. God Almighty, Lord of heaven, you have called me friend. God Almighty, Lord of heaven, you have called me friend.
You call me friend. You call me
Yes, indeed, we are the friends of God. Wow. Hey, como mai. Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii, where centered God, we elevate global consciousness through the realization of oneness. Unity is an all-inclusive, spiritual, educational, healing movement of practical Christianity. This movement is founded and grounded in prayer. Our co-founders, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, discovered truth as they knew it to be, and then they went and lived that truth. And they never said this is it. They never said that what they have discovered was anything new, that the revelations were theirs. It's how they understood God to be, and then they put that understanding into expression. And to this day, they continue to inspire us to do the same. To discover truth and then live that truth as you know it to be. Because it is in living that truth, it is bringing into expression your divine nature that we experience the abundant life. The abundant life is our promise as the beloved. Claim your truth. Stand in your truth. Live your truth. And one of the ways that us Unitics like to gain a greater understanding of truth is by the use of affirmations. An affirmation is a statement of truth. So I think we should take one out for a test drive today. Yeah, we took a used one out this morning. We'll take out a new one this afternoon. This morning. That's why I'm kind of waiting here. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, here we go. If you would be so kind as to repeat after me with velocity. I am divine. I claim my divine nature. I live my divine nature. I am divine. Let's breathe into that, if you will. Yes, indeed. We are divine in every way. And that divine nature is being so wonderfully and uniquely expressed by you and me. So I think right now we should be a unique expression of what we are, which is love. Our love is our pure essence of being. So I'd like to invite you now to stand as you are able, and please greet those nearby you with love. Your love meets their love in this now moment.
Please remain standing as you're able, and let's see what happens when all God's children get together. When all God's children get together, what a time, what a time, what a time. Gonna sit down by the banks of the river. What a time that will be. When all God's children sing together. What a time, oh, what a time, what a time, what a time, what a time. All the angels in the heavens gonna join right along. What a time that will be. Here we go. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul. One more time. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul.
Thank you. Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii. Aloha. Good to have you all here. Thank you for coming. I'm Reverend Tim Lytle, Senior Minister here, and we want to welcome you to this loving ohana. If this is your first time here or first time in a long time, we especially want to give you a warm welcome. We have a packet that has some information about our church, and it also contains a free breakfast pass because we have a wonderful breakfast down here in the courtyard, and so you can take that breakfast pass with you down to the courtyard and get a free breakfast as our appreciation for you coming today. And we also have a kukui nut lei, which represents the light of the world, because the oil from the kukui nut was used like oil, like kerosene, to shine the light. And you are the light of the world. Now, first time here or first time in a long time, first time in a long time means first time since I've been here, okay? You know, sometimes we have people come and they'll tell me, oh, I've been a faithful member here for 45 years. And they reach their hand out to me and say, now, who are you? And I say, oh, I'm your senior minister. So if it's your first time here since I've come here, or this is your first time, would you please honor us by standing as we bring you a kukui nut lei and a packet? Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. So our ushers are coming. Our ushers are coming. Thank you. And so we are bringing you the kukui nut lei and the packet with a free breakfast. We are so grateful to have you here. Thank you for being here. And we just believe that this will be the first of many times that you will be here because, you know, how can I say this? Okay, so this last week, and you can go ahead and sit down, and I'll have you stand back up here in just a second. But this last week, you know, I had a bit of a physical challenge. It was more than a bit. But anyway, I had a physical challenge, and I'm doing good now. And, yeah, I'm glad I'm doing good. And someone said, are you sure you're not contagious? Well, here's the thing. Our love, and I don't believe I am, but our love, our energy is. It is contagious. You will pick up on something here today that you'll walk away from here saying, what is that? I caught something there, and it's something good. And so those of you who are first time or first time long time, would you please stand? We want to give you a blessing. So let's warm up our hands, get that energy going. And as we extend our hands, repeat after me. We bless you. We love and honor you. And we know who you really are. You are the love and light of God. Here on this planet to do amazing things. And we're here to love you, to support you, and to celebrate you. Welcome to Unity. Thank you. Thanks for coming. If we haven't had the chance to connect yet, and if you would like to, the ushers would love to bring you up to the front of the line at the end of the service so that we can connect. But I want to make sure you don't miss your free breakfast, you know. So those of you who are over here in the courtyard, you're chatting, you're getting into the food, you see someone with a brown kukui nut lei, you're like, oh my goodness, we're glad you're here. Please come up to the front of the line and get your breakfast, okay? And join them for breakfast. It's so awesome to have you here. And we have people who are love streaming from all over the world. All over the world. Venezuela, I saw this last report, is watching us. Colombia, Switzerland, Australia, Germany, Philippines, people all over the United States, all over the world are watching us on our YouTube channel, on the New Thought channel, on our website, on Alelo Television, or listening to us on K-Sun Radio in Wichita, Kansas. So we want to give them a shaka. Let's give a shaka to all of our wonderful love streamers. We love you. We behold the highest and best that you are. And we know that right where you are, all of God is. Right where you are, all of God is. Just like here. So there's no separation between you and us. We are one. We love you. Welcome to this Ohana. Let's give them some love.
Everybody get their bulletins handy. Here we go. Today at 12:45 down in the garden, the Unity Walking Club is meeting. Please join them if you'd like to mosey around the neighborhood. Again, I would mosey. They probably walk. Are the coordinators here? Is Alan and Muriel here? Could you raise your hands? Stand up. Thank you. There's Alan. Muriel here too? All right then. Well, Alan will be out there with you. Muriel probably will be along as well. The Walking Club, 12:45, right out there in the garden. Yeah, that's right, garden. And at 1 p.m. right here in the chapel, it is Dr. Catherine Burton, licensed Unity teacher, with highlights from the life and teachings of Jesus. Raise your hand, Catherine. There you go. This is yes, indeed, this is a SEE class. It's an extraordinary class, and she's going to go over the highlights of that class that was just recently taught. You don't have to have gone to come. Please, everybody can come, right? And I'm sure that if you come, you will enrich your Easter service with the teachings of the Master Teacher, Jesus. I'm sure. There you go. Wicked good fun, as some of us like to say. And on Monday, Cindy Hensley is here, returned back from Alaska. Yay, Cindy. She's going to continue on her visioning, the spiritual practice of opening up to God as you. And this is really cool because you're going to go deep. You're going to go within, and you're going to tap in, tune in, and turn on the vision for your life and for the life of this spiritual community. Sounds like an extraordinary process, and I'm looking forward to it. So please come and join with Cindy on Monday at 6 p.m. It is a telephone high-tech thing that I probably wouldn't do very well. But read your bulletin for all the, your bulletin has all the details, so please keep that handy. On Wednesday at 5:30 to 7, we're having our IHS meal service. This is an extraordinary time to go down and serve some hot meals to some folks that are really deserve them. There's no cooking at all, no preparation. You just go down and you bring your love and you smile and you serve these folks. It's really cool. That is 5:30, and the IHS is right across from the new Ross's store in Evile, which is the old Kmart. All right then. And speaking of sacred service, we have some opportunities to be a volunteer. And folks, being of service is extraordinary. It brings joy that is beyond understanding and beyond measure and description. Volunteers are the wind that is in this ministry's sails, and we're looking for some Sandy. Yeah, let's have another communion. No, just kidding. Sunday camera operators. You don't need to have any training. Sean will train you. It's a great time. It is fun. So we're looking for some of those. So please see him if you are interested. Speaking of Sean, we're also looking for some Saturday groundskeeping folks. If you want to come and keep these grounds beautiful, they do a great job. The place is just really good looking. If you want to, yeah, exactly. If you want to come and get down in the dirt, come down and see them on Saturday morning. Also looking for some office help. If you are an office person, please check with the office. They could use your help. Sunday school teachers as well. That was the first thing I volunteered for here. I was in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Apparently, I fit right in. And also, if you're a handy person with maintenance and facilities and stuff, we'd like to speak with you as well. If any of this or something else that you might think of that you want to be in service as, please get a hold of our volunteer coordinators, Jade Guess and Francine Kiona at Unity Hawaii, volunteer.gmail.com. Keep your bulletins handy. It is your roadmap to all things Unity Church of Hawaii.
Thank you, Reverend Levitt. Oh, we appreciate our volunteers. I invite you to get into a comfortable position right where you are. If you would like, close your eyes or relax your gaze and take in and out a slow, deep breath. And in this moment, realize only oneness. Only the presence of God, only the presence of peace, only the presence of health and wholeness. Where you are, God is. Whether you are online or physically present here with us, where you are, God is. Breathe into that, knowing that your every need is met, for all of God is present. So in a quiet moment, let us lift up all the concerns, requests, and tensions of our hearts. Spirit, we hold our sister church in Nigeria, all the people of this congregation, virtual and physically present. We hold all of our needs and the needs of our world. We're amazed when people tell us that they are bored, for surely they're not paying attention. There are so many needs in our world, and we're the ones we've been waiting for. We're the ones we've been praying for. And so, Spirit, we open ourselves to be of service in our world, to be the light in the world, knowing that wherever we are, you are, and knowing that in this service there is an anointing. Your Holy Spirit touches the music, the spoken word, the fellowship, the sacred sangha, all that happens here today. We are grateful, Spirit, knowing we are in your presence and we are the self-livingness of your presence. We give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Words long preserved for our walk in this world, they resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart words of life, words of hope. Give us strength, help us cope in this world, where'er we roam. Ancient words will guide us home. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart words of our faith, handed down to this age, came to us through sacrifice. Oh, heed the faithful words of Christ. Holy words reserved for our walk in this world may resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Let us pray together the words of the traditional Lord's Prayer, connecting with the energy of this prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Amen.
Ancient words ever true, changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart. We have come with open hearts. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Our reading today is from the Lenten booklet, Keeping a True Lent. Today's message concerns overcoming. I claim my dominion as the Christ, the divine energy that indwells every human being. I express my innate perfection. Overcomers triumph when universal truth and worldly conditions collide. They cross the divide between knowing truth and mastering truth. Overcomers dwell in abundance when markets decline. They know wholeness in the face of a scary diagnosis. They extend love toward a disruptive neighbor. They exude peace in polarizing times. As overcomers trust in the goodness of the universe, good is revealed. Anything less is simply an opportunity for overcoming, a triumph waiting to happen. It's the prodigal son eating slop with pigs. It's Jesus on the cross. It's Thomas doubting the reality of Jesus' return until he was awakened to the truth of everlasting life. Declaring truth is the threshold to overcoming. The moment we reclaim our divinity and center ourselves in the energy of the Christ, we are ready to receive blessings we thought we had squandered. We are primed to experience the glory of resurrection and know the truth of Christ in us. I am the presence of Christ. Breathe that in with me. The perfection of Christ is my divine and true nature. And as I open to this truth more fully, I become centered in the power of the energy of God and my ability to live in the truth. The Christ is a pattern of my being. It is the life and breath and fire in every cell of who I am. Breathe in that Christ nature and center yourself in a moment of connection with this truth. I am the Christ. Our experience as human beings is a journey in awakening to our mastery, to knowing the truth within us and expressing it in life, overcoming those circumstances that seem difficult and challenging and troubling. For we breathe in the Christ and live from the fire of that truth in every moment as we express the truth of our being, the wholeness of our nature, and the presence of God. I am an overcomer with the power of truth. And so it is. Thank you, God.
I have never been the kind to let too many get behind the walls that I have built around my heart. And now I feel myself afraid, feeling like I've been betrayed by one I have trusted from the start. But friends are only human, many times they're gonna fall. But when it hurts the most is when they need you most of all. To forgive is to reach out to your brother as one friend to another, no matter what the cost. To forgive is to leave the past behind you, to pray tomorrow finds you stronger for the journey, 'cause every day we're learning to forgive. It was another place or time I have failed a friend of mine, and there was no one else to take the blame. When he could have turned away, somehow he found the strength to stay. His love for me was stronger than the pain. And in light of all His mercy, it's much easier to see that even from the cross, the Lord was calling you and me. To forgive is to reach out to your brother as one friend to another, no matter what the cost. To forgive is to leave the past behind you, to pray tomorrow finds you stronger for the journey, 'cause every day we're learning to forgive. To forgive is to reach out to your brother as one friend to another, no matter what the cost. To forgive is to leave the past behind you and pray tomorrow finds you 'cause every day we're learning to forgive. 'Cause every day we're learning to forgive.
Thank you, Guy. I learned a long time ago that one of the best gifts we can ever have is to learn to forgive. This is years ago, seeing a therapist as I was trying to let go of some baggage in my life. I had some abuse that had happened to me as I was growing up. I had had numerous other things that had happened to me, including a term maybe you haven't heard before, religious abuse, where I had really been beaten up a lot with guilt and other things. And so this therapist said, one of the best gifts you can ever have, Tim, is to learn how to forgive. And one of the best things a parent can ever teach their child is how to forgive. But we need to understand what we mean by forgiveness. There are many inaccurate notions about forgiveness. One of them is the statement that we should just forget it. Unless you have amnesia or dementia, chances are you may still remember what has happened in your past. That doesn't mean that you are spiritually in bondage to what happened, but you know that it happened. You can describe it because it's part of your history. It's part of what's made up your story here on earth. It's part of what's helped to make you and shape you into who you are today. So it's a ridiculous notion to encourage people to just forget it. Okay, that's ridiculous. Another ridiculous notion that some people have about forgiveness is that we somehow mystically have the power to absolve other people of what they have done. Like, I absolve you. You know, some people think, how can I take away responsibility from what someone else has done, from their own actions? How can I let them off the hook? How can I possibly take away their karma and take away their accountability and responsibility for what they've done? You can't. Okay? So get over that notion of forgiveness. Another notion of forgiveness is denial. Well, let's just be in denial. You know, one time I borrowed someone's bicycle. I mean, they insisted I borrow it. I borrowed it, had a wreck on it. And I remember their expression. So they just sort of looked at me like, yeah, whatever. And they picked up their bike. And I said, I am so sorry. I did not mean to wreck it. And they walked away without looking at me. It's okay. It's just a thing. Sometimes we say it's okay and we don't mean it at all. That's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is not denial. It's not lying. You know? Sometimes if any of my family or wonderful people from the tradition in which I grew up are watching, thank you for being such a good influence in my life. But There were times in the church where I grew up that if you were hurt or something bad happened, you're supposed to say, oh, it's okay. It's not okay. Get off of that. You know, and they would sometimes hold these secret resentments. That, oh, they'd act so nice. So, forgiveness is not about being fake. It's not about being inauthentic. Well, what is it? Forgiveness is letting go of the burden that we're carrying. For example, my wife and I, some of you have gotten to know Olga Lucia. And Olga Lucia is very conservative about spending when we go to the store. But I will say, with all the love in my heart, if you're watching, that she has the most amazing collection of shoes and clothes I've ever seen. I mean, oh my gosh. It's like shoes of all types and varieties and colors and styles. It's like, wow, there's a shoe for every day. And so we went to Ireland. By the way, happy St. Pat's to everybody. Yeah. And some of us are Irish American. And so we were in Ireland. Brilliant green. Oh man, the greenest green I've ever seen. I mean, like emerald green. I got it once I arrived there. But it was raining. It rains there a lot. Okay, it's kind of like being up in the mountains here. It rains there a lot. That's why it's so green. And I like to take what I need on a trip. My lovely wife likes to bring what she might need in any possible eventuality, which has come in handy sometimes, you know. And so we were in Dublin. We were trying to find our hotel. And if you've been in Ireland, you know, a lot of these roads were built before, you know, vehicles and so forth like we have now. And so some of them are very narrow and rough and not easy to access. And so I think I was carrying like 3 of those really, really big bags. I think maybe she had one smaller bag. And so, you know, I'm about 10 feet behind her. And I'm thinking, couldn't we travel lighter? And, you know, I believe I even asked her that. Anyway, you can imagine how that all turned out, right? And we had a wonderful time, we went from bed to breakfast, bed and breakfast, and carrying all this luggage with us the whole time. And, you know, I rented a car, so I'm shifting with my left hand. You know, you're on the right side of the car as the driver. And narrow country roads where the rear view mirrors of cars almost hit each other. And, you know, and I thought, surely there's got to be a lighter way to travel. And I think that's a good image for what forgiveness is about. It's about letting go of all this extra baggage. Some of us have collected baggage over the years, and we continue to carry it around. Some of you may have 50 or 75 bags that you're carrying with you at this time. Emotional baggage of things that have happened to you in the past. How you have perceived someone has done you some sort of disfavor, some sort of mean look, something that someone did. And you carry this baggage around with you. Now notice who's carrying the baggage. It isn't hurting the other person at all for you to carry all this baggage. And maybe it's not your baggage to carry. It's up to us to release the baggage. That's what forgiveness is. It's the healing process to where we can actually get to the point where we let go of the baggage. That's why Jesus talked about it so much, because he wanted us to be free. He wanted us to be liberated. Every great spiritual teacher wants us to be free, not in bondage. So why carry the baggage? Some of you just like it. You're used to it. You're attached to it. You're willing to pay the extra fees for extra baggage. I'm suggesting a different course. It's up to us. So Jesus in Luke chapter 6 said, if you don't want to be judged, don't judge. If you don't want to be condemned, don't condemn. If you want to be forgiven, forgive. Now, many spiritual masters have given this same spiritual principle. This is just part of my release process. I'm good. But he's giving a spiritual principle here, and he goes on after this to say, in the same measure that you give, you shall receive. So that which we are holding on to is that which we will experience more of. Let me say that again. That which we are holding on to is that which we will experience more of. So what do you want to hang on to? So he's giving this principle that if you don't want judgment in your life, then don't judge others. If you don't want to experience a sense of self-condemnation in your life, then don't condemn others. If you're wanting to experience freedom, then allow freedom in your life. And that's really what forgiveness means. I did a word study in the Greek New Testament of these words for forgiveness. And the word actually means to let go of something, to release it. That's the primary meaning of the word forgiveness. We've twisted it into meaning so many ridiculous, incoherent things. It means to release something, so we don't have to carry it around all the time. Now, Jesus practiced what he preached. So we're leading up to Easter, and this month, by the way, is the power of strength, signified by the color green. And it's difficult to have strength when you're carrying all this baggage around. When we release the baggage, then we have a whole lot more energy to do what we're really here to do, to really live our mission, to really live in a creative way. And what I have found is that the best way for me to live is to live my mission. My mission is to assist others and myself in the process of spiritual awakening to realize our oneness with God. That's my mission. And anything that gets in the way of that, that weighs me down or interferes with that, I need to lovingly release. Okay? Makes sense? So Jesus, all right, leading up to the cross, he's been betrayed by Judas, and he knew it was coming, but he invited Judas to the party anyway. We're all invited to the party. And Jesus had been beaten and whipped and then crucified. Now, the Greek word in the Greek New Testament is kairo, for hand, which can include the wrist. And so a lot of scholars believe that probably the nails went through the wrist, where weight could be more fully supported. And many people on the cross actually died from suffocation. Because as they're in this position, it's hard for their diaphragm to work, and they have to pull themselves up to get their breath and then go back down. If you can imagine the pain and the torture of that, the Roman soldiers were experts at torture, and they knew how to keep people alive for days in this torturous type of existence. So in this state, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." As a kid, when I read that, I thought, that's just crazy talk. What do you mean they don't know what they're doing? They know what they're doing. They know how mean they're being. They know how vicious they're being. Is Jesus in denial? Did someone slip this part into the gospel story? I mean, that's what I wondered as a kid. Wondering, did they put this in here to just try to make us more sanctimonious and complicate our lives? But what I've realized is that Jesus, who represents our Christ nature, says, "Forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." Most people are doing the best that they know. Now, they may not, their knowledge may be at a limited level. They may not have evolved very far, but most people are doing the best that they know. And what Jesus chose to do here is to release it. He didn't want the baggage. In fact, that's what the cross represents, is crossing out that which no longer serves us. Crossing out that which gets in the way. Crossing out the baggage. Being free. And so Jesus is showing by this model, let go of the stuff. Why hold on to it? And represents that Christ in us that says, I don't need this baggage. I don't need this baggage. I don't need to carry around my perception of how other people have hurt me and continue to ruminate on that and come up with ways that, have you ever had someone say something to you and you walked away from that thinking, next time I see them, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. Next time I see them, I know what to say to them to straighten them out. Have you ever left a conflicted situation thinking, I'm going to give them some? Yeah. You want to see the Christ? Come on. So, I mean, most of us have that human experience. I was, there is a Swami in town, Bhaktimanga Swami. He's at the Krishna temple tonight at 4:30, if any of you want to hear him speak. And he's walked 4 times across Canada. You know how big Canada is? It's pretty big, okay? Pretty big. Walked the longest highway in the entire world. And so he was walking down a road, and someone in a red sports car convertible slowed down beside him as he's walking. And they shout out, "Get out of town!" You know, sometimes people say things that feel a little mean. Now, how did this dedicated renunciant, this spiritual teacher and guru, respond internally? He thought, man, that burns me. They think I should get out of town. What do I need to say to that guy? And he decided next time someone did that to him, he'd say, come on over here. You want some of this? Come on over. And they realized oh man. He had to work through it. Sometimes we get caught up in Maya, in illusion. We get caught up in the game, in the soap opera, and we want to prove we're right. You know, no matter how advanced we may be in our spiritual practice, and Jesus and other spiritual masters are showing us the way. Release it. Let it go. It doesn't have to be a fight for our agenda or proving that we're right. It can be a means of release and liberation for ourselves. Are you willing to release and let go of the baggage you've been carrying, or do you want to continue to hit other people with your baggage? You've been on those crowded airplanes, right? Man, they're crowded. And if you fly into Wichita, I love you, Wichita. If you fly into Wichita, you have to take these puddle jumpers because you just can't fly direct into Wichita on a major airplane. You have to fly somewhere else, and then you get on a puddle jumper. And the little carry-on things, they're not room. I mean, they're dinky, you know? And so people are trying to pull their bags out, and if you're not careful, you can smash another person with your baggage. And that's exactly what happens when we're carrying too much baggage. We begin to hurt others with our baggage. And then we feel better thinking, oh, I'm not the only one who hurts. That is not the spiritual path. That is not the path to liberation. Just like in our spiritual community here, where our mission is personal transformation, co-creative relationships, sacred service, and our vision of a realization of oneness. Anything here that does not fit that vision needs to be lovingly released. In the same way, anything that does not fit our truest, most pure vision for life needs to be lovingly released. Why carry that crap around with us? We don't need it. And we don't need to be hurting other people with our baggage. Let's release it. Let's be free and let go of the burden. Aloha.
It's easy to love somebody who's always wearing a smile. But when somebody steps on your toes, you know it's hard to go that extra mile. But if we want to live a really happy life, we need a lot more peace and a lot less strife. We need to love everybody in the world. We need to love all our sisters and our brothers and learn how to talk to one another. Love everybody that we meet and let our light shine on when we're walking down the street. Love everybody in the world. You see, if I love my neighbor like I love myself, well, maybe just a bit of my neighbor's love will spill over onto someone else. 'Cause love is like peanut butter, I always said. It ain't much good unless you spread it on the bread. Spread love all over the world. We need to love all our sisters and our brothers and learn how to talk to one another. Love everybody that we meet and let our light shine on when we're walking down the street. Love everybody in the world. We need to love all our sisters sisters and our brothers, and learn how to talk to one another. Love everybody that we meet, and let our light shine on when we're walking down the street. Love everybody in the world. We need to love everybody. Love everybody. We need to love everybody in the world. Oh, yeah. Woo!
Well, I want to thank all of you for your faithfulness in giving. A number of you very intentionally give and help support this ministry as you see your own ownership in this ministry and as we circulate the divine good in our lives. And I especially want to honor those people who give online. About 1/3 of our donations on Sundays come through our online givers. And I want to thank you for your faithfulness in giving. And because I've run out of checks, I'm joining you today in giving online. And I thank all of you for your openness to giving. So, as you place your offering between your hands or over your heart, repeat after me. I bless this offering in the consciousness of God's abundance. With gratitude, I give joyfully. And so it is. Amen.
Something great is happening, love is taking hold and it won't let go of us now.
Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. We're drops in one ocean, roll on. Will you rise up with me today?
Lift up your voice.
Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live your dream of the highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your drifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world. Stand together. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world. Stand together. Live your dream of the highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Live your dream of the highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together.
Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Everybody, let's stand together. Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together.
Thank you. All right. So as we extend our hands to this offering, we bless this offering in the consciousness, knowing it represents infinite substance, of which there is no lack or limitation, knowing we freely and lovingly circulate the light that we are. And we go forth into this world to be the light of the world. And we give thanks and we say together, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you. And thank you for being here today. If this is your first time here or first time in a long time, be sure and get your free breakfast. And if you want to connect a little bit with me right after the service, feel free to have the ushers bring you up to the front. But we just know that you will come and be with us again. We're so grateful to have you here, and we love you all. And we have some amazing prayer chaplains who are holding the high watch with us, who are praying throughout the service and throughout the week for all of us. And so if the prayer chaplains would come to the front, please. Those who are on duty today. Yeah, I could see Mary trying to figure that out. Yeah. Those who are on duty today, and they have the white stoles on, and they are prepared and ready to pray with you and trained to do that. And we continue to have monthly training, and they hold it in confidentiality to know the truth with you. So if you've been needing someone to pray with you, maybe you're grateful for something, or maybe there's something in your life where you really need someone to stand in the truth with you, these people will do that in love, without judgment, and in confidentiality. So feel free to seek them out at the end of this service to pray with them. Thank you, prayer chaplain. And if we could all stand and join hands as we sing together our peace song and Aloha Oe.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Aloha, aloha,